Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show. And today, boy, you are not going to want to miss on the content that I have today because this is what happens next if history repeats. I'm going to break this down for you in the markets so you can have a bit of a cheat sheet here if we do see history repeat as it has done historically, of course. Before we do that, smash the like button. This does help get this channel out to more people. I appreciate the comments that you do take the time to leave. I do read those comments. Thank you for that. It does help support the channel. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification as well so you don't miss the daily updates. So let's talk first of all about the SPY. What has the warning been? The warning has been the two consecutive weekly candles closing below the 9 EMA on the weekly. That level is $685. Now, the last time that happened was a year ago, and that led to around an 18% drop from that moment, okay, from about the 9 EMA. And we see that second weekly candle go, and then it was capitulation. Now, we have had that previous back in July of 2024, so it doesn't happen very often. We've only seen it happen twice in the last 18 months. And what we did see there was around about a 6% drawdown from the 9 EMA. We saw that second consecutive candle. However, that second candle was actually green. It didn't close above the 9 EMA, and we got that green dot. And of course, that led us to some beautiful upside eventually there. So, 5-6% drop from the 9 EMA actually takes us down to about 600 and $49, which is the 1272 on the Fibonacci here, and also the 200-day moving average. So that could be something of a bit of a pullback there, and I think it's much much needed. That's subjective when you say much needed, because people are going, no, keep going up. But we do need healthy market structure, and we do need support built for the next leg up. We also do have a weekly red arrow, while not while not you know doesn't mean that we're going to go down to 649. Let me just put it that way. What I would say about that is that we had the red arrow followed by green. So we've just seen really choppy, and that's what I talked to you about for the last 2 months. We've been trading in this range of about 679 to 697. You could have just range traded this up and down. That's why I give you these levels every morning here. And of course, the level for today, 684, long above 684, short below. Super simple. And you can trade the SPXL, which is the 3X leverage ETF, to make more gains to the upside. There is more risk, of course, and they are only designed to be held, those ETFs, because they're leverage ETFs and there is decay. The leverage resets each day and there's fees. So they're only designed to be held the day. SPXS, which is the 3X leverage short ETF, that actually also the same rules apply there. And generally with the ETFs, a 3% stop loss is the recommended, not financial advice, because I'm not a financial advisor. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Are you not entertained? So where are the markets heading? Well, historically, and then we're going to head to Bitcoin after this. Historically, the SPY has had a drawdown in the second part of February. Now, remember, the Supreme Court may or may not rule. They have an opinions day. They don't tell you what they're going to share their opinions on. They may or may not rule on the Trump tariff. So that could cause major market volatility and could cause the market to drop. Now, so we are seeing, so today, if we do close under 685, there is a strong likelihood, because historically we've had at least a 5 to 6% drop, sometimes greater, down to around the 649. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. Other times it could drop 2 or 3% from the 9. That's not from the top. And we do have that red arrow we don't have a green dot reversal at the moment. All right. So February, it tends to be a bit bearish in February, and then we rebound for March and April, and then we find our top somewhere between, and this is for a midterm election year, and this is the last 100 years of history. We find our bottom somewhere around the end of September. So if history repeats, we'll have a little more downside in February, maybe a little bit of depending on this weekly candle, if it closes here, down to about 649. Now, that's not guaranteed, so don't come back to me if Monday, you know, there's rumors of a rate cut of some kind or something crazy bullish happens, and we see a beautiful recovery candle. That can obviously happen, and we've seen that happen previously. However, I just trade in probabilities, and what's most likely to happen is most likely to be a little bit more of a further pullback. If we close above 685, then we roll into next week and we look at the charts on Monday. So April to June. Now, if you're going off all of midterm election history, April is generally when the market tops, and then it drops and continues to drop and go sideways until the end of September. That's quite a long period of time. However, for the last 25 years, it's topped in June and bottomed in September, which is where you get the sell in May and go away. So you're out of your positions in May, you expect the drop in June, and then you jump back in at the end of September. I'll also note that for November, if you buy on the day of the midterm elections in November, in June of the following year, it's green, usually somewhere between 3 and 20%. Has been a good place to buy, even then, even if you don't catch the September lows. So that is if history repeats, and there's a big if history repeats. Second half of February, a little bearish. The big 18 to 20% drop, that comes sometime between April and June, and then the market bottoms out at the around about the last week of September before powering on and making recovering that usually within 6 to 7 months, 9 months. It recovers that with good recovery the following year. So let's talk about Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin historically has found its bottom somewhere below the 200-week moving average, which is at 58,400 at the moment, but rising as price stays above it, and the 300-week moving average, which is at 50,000. Now we have another, here's this bear flag that I gave you all you permables, and it hit that technical target beautifully. I gave you another one, it hit that technical target beautifully. We now have yet another one here, and the technical target is down to 45. So I do think my best guess, and that's all it is today, my best guess at where Bitcoin could possibly bottom would be somewhere around the mid to low 40s. There is a CME gap at $42,000. They generally get filled, and not to freak anybody out, there's a CME gap at 20,000 as well. If you don't know what a CME gap is for Bitcoin futures, you just need to look that up. We don't have time to go into that today. So I do think that that is a very strong possibility. Now, along the way, if MicroStrategy, and that's not bringing into any factor MicroStrategy collapsing, having to sell Bitcoin, or any major exchange implosions could take us down a lot further into that 30K and 30K zone, and that would put us in the 30 to 40K zone there. We would see a strong push down, and then I would say quite a good recovery there. Now, that's generally meant to happen historically by we generally find our low in September of this year and then the new bull market would start in October of 2026. Now, what can happen in the meantime? Do I think we're going to just keep coming straight down? We could. At some point, I do think there's going to be a bounce. We saw it over here where we came down to 84 and then we bounced to 97. And so we could, if we bounce from here, the likely place that I think that we would stop is back here at about 86, 85, 86, where we broke down from. That would be a nice V-shaped recovery. And then at best, probably to the 200-day moving average, which would probably be somewhere around the $90,000 level. That's my best guess. If we were to bounce from where we are now, have a bit of a bull market relief rally before then capitulating over down to around this 40 to 50,000 area, and then with a greater black swan event, the 30 to $40,000 level. There's just some things that we don't know that could happen that could lead it to going much, much lower. And I do feel the sentiment in this bear market is much more bearish than the last bear market. I'm telling you that right now. And there are much greater catalysts. Last time around, MicroStrategy wasn't really even rumored of being an issue. This time around, because of the way they're set up, and all the money that they bought at the top, they are definitely very vulnerable, in my opinion, as are many exchanges as well. And so that's where we are with Bitcoin. Obviously, if we drop down to this 300-week moving average and bounce, then the bounce would be probably back up to around this level here, or up to 86, which is where the 200 would come down to. But I'll keep you updated on this channel. I've been pretty accurate at calling the bottoms and the tops. I did get people in the bottom around 15 to 18,000. And of course, with my tribal trades indicator, one indicator to rule them all, it's absolutely nailed the freaking top, people. You just had to sell when that indicator fired off. Sure, you might not have sold it right at 126. Maybe you would have sold it at 120 or 116, but absolutely you wouldn't still be bag holding it down to 67 there, okay? And the tribal trades indicator comes as part of the tribal trades Discord. The Discord, unfortunately, is closed at the moment. I do want to share a beautiful win. It will be reopening. You can get on the wait list. Let me just share about that in a moment. Love this from Kristen. She made over $1,000 in 3 weeks trading 1 day per week with less than $3,000. Thank you to Mark and April. April, incredible crown trader, has been a little bit unwell. We do pray and blessings and healing upon her there for a speedy recovery. And absolutely fantastic. You know, across all the channels, you know, we have around a 90% win rate. The earnings play channel has absolutely been incredible. We're in for Nvidia and AVGO earnings. Lemonade absolutely cooked. VST absolutely cooked as well for earnings plays, and VRT. Look at VST, absolutely amazing. VRT was the other earnings play that we took. Absolutely incredible as well. Look at that massive gainer to the upside there. Absolutely huge move. Both of these are in our yearly portfolio as well. We have a yearly portfolio with over 20 hand-picked stocks by me that are absolutely cooking, people. Incredible there. And so these are some of the earnings plays. And of course, Lemonade as well gave us another earnings wins. And I just released some new earnings plays today and updated the yearly portfolio. So you get all of these incredible plays channels here. 30 days, 90-day, yearly plays, weekly swing plays, and our scalp channels. It really covers every single trader that is out there, whether you're a scalper or a long-term. We even have a long-term investing channel as well for, you know, if you have an IRA or 401k as well. And of course, all the wonderful live sessions, the tribal trade system. This is my entire trading course in here, as well as the two tribal trades indicators, one I just showed you before there. And of course, I was going to show you, follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. We're off to see the wizard. the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Before Bitcoin makes a major move, either to the upside or the downside, it just keeps tagging the liquidity down here at 66, maybe a bit below at 65, and then jumping back up to 68, 69. It's just moving there, and you can just make money, longing at 66, shorting at 69, rinse and repeat. And if it loses 66, you can just short it down to 60. And if it busts above 69, you can long it up to 71, and however higher it may possibly go. You can still get on the wait list for the Tribal Trades Discord. And so all that means is that when the Discord does reopen, you'll be first, or you'll be one of the first few to get in. You'll get earlier access. However, you could get much earlier access than that. And I'll tell you why, is because if for some reason we have someone who is not able to renew their subscription, they have a change in their family life, they're not able to use the Discord anymore, they don't have time, they move, any kind of change like that, and people aren't able to renew, people on the wait list get moved early into the Tribal Trades Discord before we do reopen. So it is closed, but I would encourage you, I am getting a lot of emails about wanting to gain access, and unfortunately the Discord is now closed. It closed on Monday. That was your last day to get in. So those who got on Monday squeezed in the nick of time, and you also got our buy one get one free deal, where you buy 1 month and you get 30 days, basically 1 month for free. That deal, of course, is now over. We'll probably run that again in the future. However, down the track, who knows, maybe in a year when we do our 1 year anniversary. But I will tell you that probably this time next year, the Discord will be closed for good. We have wait lists because it's about quality over quantity, and once the Discord gets to a certain size, we will completely close it off. We'll never reopen it again, and it will be just waitlist only, and it's only when people drop off that people from the waitlist can get in. So I do encourage you there. It's a month-to-month membership, people. So if it's not for you, you can we wish you all the best, and somebody else moves in from the waitlist. But I just know when you come into the Discord and you see the wealth transformational journey that we are on, and the life-changing gains that is happening in there, you're just not going to want to leave. To sign up for the waitlist, there is a link below in the description of this video. You might need to click the more button. That will pop out, and then you can actually sign up. Now, it will ask for your credit card. I get asked all the time. Oh, it's asking for my credit card. You won't get charged at all until you get actually added to the Discord, whether that's in 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever that may be. You will never get charged until you actually get added to the Discord. But you do have to put your payment details in there to reserve your spot. That's all I have time for today. So until I see you in the next episode next week, or until I see you on the Discord, happy trading.